Welcome back to Movie Chats. I'm Steve, and yes, I have learnt my lesson after my last video and I've moved back into the corner. This is just a quick recap on Ghostbusters and where we're up to with the franchise while we're waiting for the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm going to go back and watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and I'm probably going to have to force Lana to watch them with me as well. That way we can have a date night and go to the big screen and go and watch Afterlife that way. As always, please leave a comment or your views regarding the video, and I do take my time to read them and I will reply to you. If you like this type of content, we can always do this type of video for returning franchises. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It does help us grow and gets our videos out to a wider audience. Now, let's get the show on the road. Before we get too deep into the video, I just want to talk about Harold Ramis briefly. He's the one that played Egon in the original Ghostbusters movie. Ramis was joined by Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson in 1984 original, and then he returned to the role in Ghostbusters 2 in 1989. He sadly passed away in 2014, but he's left a tremendous legacy, including writing and acting on this franchise. It's sad to see him go. Ghostbusters and the franchise Ghostbusters as we know it today almost had to change the name last minute. Once production had wrapped on the original film, the project faced a situation which could have derailed the whole thing. In the 1970s, Universal Studios had produced a live-action TV series called The Ghostbusters, and the lawyers had threatened legal action unless they changed the name of the film. They'd already shot the trailers and the leads up to the film and already had masses of crowds shouting, "Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters!" So they were really in deep trouble at this point. Luckily, Frank Price, the head of Columbia Pictures, and he was the one that greenlit the original movie, was moving over to Universal Studios to become the new studio head, and he allowed them to keep the name of the film. However, that wasn't the end of the legal troubles. They had to change the name of the cartoon that was based on the film to the real Ghostbusters, and this is so they couldn't legally confuse the two properties. So what's Ghostbusters 1 about? It's about a team of scientists that work in the university studying the supernatural. They go on to lose their jobs and go into business for themselves. They decide to become the Ghostbusters and wager a high-tech battle against the supernatural to raise some money. But this is where the story takes a turn for the strange when they stumble across the gateway to another dimension. It's some spoiler alerts though, okay? The bit in Ghostbusters about crossing the streams where they kill Marshmallow Man and Gozer. Told you, spoiler alerts for those that have not seen Ghostbusters. Okay, that wasn't actually part of the script, but they were struggling to find a way of getting the Ghostbusters out of the final scene alive. So they filmed that about the proton packs ripping a hole in our dimension. They had to go back to the hotel scene and film it where he says, "Don't cross the streams." They'd already explained the technical babble about how the proton packs work and left that bit up to the audience. So it was a little bit backwards when it came to do that. However, it paid off by the end of the film. Ghostbusters 2 is set 5 years after the first film. Now, the Ghostbusters have been disbanded, and the reason for that is because they got sued and made bankrupt by New York City for demolishing large parts of the city during the first movie. However, when Venkman finds out that spirits have taken interest in Dana Barrett's son, this leads to them putting the band back together for one last chase. They launch a rogue ghost chasing mission throughout the city. The film didn't do too well on screen testing, and they had to go back and film large parts of the third act again. In my opinion, Ghostbusters 2 gives a lot more space for the supporting characters to work. It allows us to see great performances from actors who have only shown us a glimpse of their talent in the original movie. If you like Rick Moranis as a funny, nerdy accountant, wait until you see him as a bumbling lawyer. The two most memorable ghosts in Ghostbusters 2 are the Solari brothers. They got electrocuted and now return back from the dead in the courtroom scene. If you ever thought these ghosts look vaguely familiar, it's because they're modelled on the iconic characters played by Dan Aykroyd and his late partner John Belushi on the Saturday Night Live, the Blues Brothers. So this leads me on to the long-awaited sequel, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm forgetting the 2016 remake is a thing. Such poor movie, such bad writing. However, the storyline to Afterlife, or as I understand it so far, a single mother moves her two children to a new town and they discover that they've got a connection to the original Ghostbusters and their grandfather's secret legacy. Now, this sounds a little bit to me like the director's experience that he had when he was growing up with the first movie. He's grew up alongside his father while they've been filming, he's visited set when he was 5, and he's lived with cast members, so I'm hoping he's catching some of the original magic here. We've also got a returning cast of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and of course Sigourney Weaver comes back as Dana Barrett. We've also got new additions to the cast such as Paul Rudd, McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard. Now I'm hoping this is going to be a good film, so please cross all fingers and all toes for this November release. So there we have it, ladies and gents. I did say this was going to be a very quick recap on the franchise, and hopefully I've kept my word to that. If you do like this type of video, I'm happy to do more on other returning series or franchises. To be honest, I do prefer this type of video. It's a good refresh for me, and it's a great way to learn interesting facts and knowledge about films in general. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We are slowly growing, and I do like to thank you all for your support so far. I've been Steve, and you're watching Movie Chats. I'll see you on the next one.